Okay, before I get started on showing you about disassembling and cleaning, I wanted to show you this. I was talking about how most of the guns today, semi-automatics, will tell you when there's one in the chamber. And what I mean by that is, you see when I stick the mag in, there's nothing in the gun. All right? This is the barrel. This is your mag well, because this is the mag. Push the mag up in. Now you can see it. What happens is when this slide is released and goes forward, it's going to push that into the barrel. All right. Now, can you see that? That little protrusion there with the red mark. That's what I was talking about. Now, that's not something I'm going to worry about. You know, like I said, in the heat of the moment, under stress, I'm not going to know whether that's flush or not. So press check it. That's all I have to do. Simple as that. In the morning, before you put the gun in your pants, just pull it back. I see steel, or I see brass. These are steel casings, so you're going to see shiny silver, right? Now, we drop the mag, pull back, and that just released the bullet. So the gun is safe. We'll keep that over here. Same with the Glock. Right? Empty. You can see light. There's nothing in the barrel. This is the barrel on the Glock. Push the mag up. See the barrel, or see the bullet? When you release, you have that little protrusion there, which is nothing. I mean, it's almost like a hangnail. So again, I don't worry about it. This is a 45. See the bullet, the round, you release. This also has a slight protrusion, but not enough for me to really notice. Another one, HK. Same thing. There's the bullet, release. Now that one's bright red, but still, if it's dark, I can't see that. So you're getting my point, right? Then, before you touch the weapon for cleaning, all right, what I do and what I recommend everybody does is you take any ammo, mags. Let's just check this for the sake of checking it. All empty, 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 empty. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. All my bullets. And get them away from wherever you're cleaning. Simple as that. All right, we'll start with the Glock because it's probably the most common handgun in the world. All right, first thing you're going to do, the way the Glocks are, is you just pull it back just a little bit. And you see these two little levers on either side? They can be difficult. Mine, these are red because they stick out a little farther. You just pull them both this way at the same time. All right, and Glock, you have to pull the trigger as well. And it's right off. All right, this is called your lower, which has the serial number, and your slide. Beretta, a little different. I think it's much easier. This was always my weapon of choice for many years. You just release this, you push that, it releases your lever, then release the slide, right off. Like I said, piece of cake. The HK is very similar. It's actually kind of similar to both. With this HK, you have to pull it back and lock the slide. Drop the release, just like that. You don't have to touch the trigger like the Glock. Then you release the slide, and it comes right off. This is a Beretta, but it's a 45. It's the same as this. It has the lever that turns. And all Glocks are the same. Okay. Now, we're going to work just on the Glock. Put the other guns aside. Now, the first thing you want to do after you disassemble it is just put the lower over there and leave it for now. All right. This is your recoil spring, and this is a double spring. This is a Glock style spring. Okay, just pull that out, and always have yourself a bowl. Right? Then your barrel comes out. That's it. You're pretty much done. Unless, I mean, I shoot thousands and thousands of rounds a year. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many. So, yeah, once a year, I will take everything apart. The firing pin, the safety, everything I take apart and I clean it. But we're not going to do that because I did it already. And you unless you have been doing this for a while, I wouldn't recommend taking this stuff apart. I mean, if you're really mechanical and you like tinkering with stuff, just get the manual with all that shows all the parts or something like this. I have one of these that's for pistols. It shows you where all the parts are. And I have gotten into trouble with a buddy's gun that I worked on for him. And unfortunately, I was able to find this diagram for his gun online and be able to put the thing back together. But anyway, it's intricate, and there's certain things you have to do. There's tiny springs, and if you lose a spring, you're screwed. Then you got to buy a new one. So anyway, for this, that's about it for a normal cleaning. All right. And despite what people tell you, unless your gun is old, ancient, been sitting around, has all this fouling, and that's what you call the powder and pieces of copper or lead, whatever's coming off the bullet as it goes through the barrel, it builds up. And if the weapon is not maintained and cleaned, sure, you can get fouling on there that Simple Green is not going to take off. But if you're diligent with maintaining your weapon, which I recommend any kind of machinery that you use, you always maintenance it. Simple Green works. What I do is I just spray it all. Just spray everything, right? And I put it aside and let it soak for a little bit. And I take the lower, I look at it. Now, if you see this shiny stuff, that is a like an anti-seize, and it's gold because it's a high heat. I will put that just on real small areas that are metal, because anything metal to metal, you want to lubricate. Now, Johnny Glock, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a guy who's he just works on Glocks primarily, and he recommended doing that. And I have seen premature wear. Well, I wouldn't say premature. You see wear. Metal is going to wear. It's just metal on metal will wear. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you just lubricate it, treat it right, it'll last you, forever. So this was cleaned not too long ago. What you're seeing on here is basically the lubrication that I put on it. But I'll get in there with a brush, and you don't want to use a metal brush. This is a soft brush. Just clean it real good. If you need some Simple Green, spray some Simple Green in there. Clean it real good. And then this is a must for cleaning guns. These are the best things ever. I mean, just go on Amazon. You can buy a bag. This is what the new bags look like. I just buy a shitload of them. Because, look, I mean, you can get into all these spots that you can't get into with other stuff. Right? They're great. Sometimes, if you have real skinny grooves, I may take a little screwdriver, grab a patch, right? Because you don't want to just stick your screwdriver in there, metal. Let's see. Like, say in between here, I may just do that if I want to get everything out. However anal you are is however anal you are. Everybody's different. Glocks are, I mean, you can run them pretty dirty and dry, and they'll last and last and last. But me, I'm just the type of person, I like to keep my shit clean. All right, so we'll leave that alone. So after spraying this, one thing I didn't grab was some rags. Grab yourself a clean rag. You know, just wipe everything off. Again, if you got to get in there. Oh, and once these things are black, just get rid of them. Don't reuse it. They're not expensive, right? Just get in there and get all this shit out of there. Like I said, this gun's pretty clean. Doesn't really need too much. But I like it till I can see all metal and I don't see anything, right? But again, we're not in the military, so you don't have to go overboard. They do it because that's just how they do it, right? That's the part of their training. It's like to keep their boots clean, everything prepped. It's a mechanical device, so as long as it's clean and lubricated, and as you do this, you're always looking at your stuff, right? Like, do you see any cracks or nicks or anything that shouldn't be there? That's the other thing you do when you're cleaning. You're looking at it. That's part of the maintenance. Is you want to fix stuff before it's broke, right? Now this is the barrel, and what I'll do is I'll hold it up to the light where I can see through it, and then I can see inside of the barrel and the rifling that's in there. And if it's dirty, I'll run a swab solvent through it, simple green, make sure it's clean. That's about it. Spraying, you don't have to take it apart. Just wipe it off. Real simple. Like I said, if you do this, every so many thousands of rounds or whatever, the cleaning is easier. It's just like if you wash and wax your car. If you only do it once a year, well, it's a nightmare. But if you wash and wax your car all the time, it's pretty easy to keep clean, right? Same thing. And as far as lubrication, that's kind of a sticking point with me. There's everybody and their mother's got selling you gun oil, right? And tip of the day is if it says gun on it, it's costing you probably 10 times more than what it should cost, right? There's an armorer I watch on YouTube. He's really good. It's called the American School of Rifles. And he's been using what I'm about to tell you about for I don't even know how long, years and years. And what he does is he takes synthetic grease, right? Like stuff you'd pack your wheel bearings in your car or whatever. See it? Pure synthetic. He takes that and he takes motor oil. It doesn't matter what kind of motor oil it is either. And he mixes it I have a container here. He mixes it in here, right? Scoops that in there, puts oil in it, and waits until he gets a consistency that's kind of like syrup, right? And then he puts it in bottles for his students on every table. Well, that's what I've been doing. And this stuff is cheap and will last, hell, it might even last the rest of my life. And motor oil, you can get motor oil anywhere. So just put a little bit on the slide, right? And everybody has their opinion on how to lube their gun. That's fine. Whatever you want to do, man. All I know is this works, and my guns have untold amounts of rounds through them, and they're fine. You do not want to get oil. Try to prevent getting any oil back here where the strike fire is, okay? This is where your firing pin is. It doesn't need oil, all right? So you see that? That wasn't that much. Some people use less. Some people use a hell of a lot more. Whatever. A wet gun is not going to fail because it's not lubricated, right? And I do the same thing with my AR. In fact, I probably put more on my AR because I do. The Glocks, I used to do a lot more with the Glocks, but Glocks are historically, you can run them pretty dry. So I used to put a lot more than this on there. That's about it. It's just, you see how it's just shiny? It's really all you need to do. Same with this. I got it on my fingers. This is all I'm doing. Put the barrel back in. Right? See how that works? That's what you're looking at on the top. When the slide goes back, that's what you're looking at. All right. And the recoil spring, and this is obviously does exactly what it says. It's when the bullet fires and when the sear's released and the slide goes back, the spring brings it forward. Okay? Spring brings it back to where it's supposed to go. So that goes in like that. There's a hole in the bottom. And on the Glock, you will see kind of has 2 steps on it. Well, it goes on the one closest to the barrel. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. My fingers are so damn slippery. There we go. And you see how it's sitting? The spring is parallel with the slide. That's what you want. If the spring was doing this a little bit, that would mean you had it on the first step, and that's no good. All right. Well, that's about it for this. Then you just put it back on. Boom. Done. See, that was easy. Just wipe off the excess. Now, the thing with the home lube is that if you have it a little bit too runny, you will get weepage. Like, as the gun cycles and functions, the oil, excuse me, the oil dissipates, right? It spreads out. So it's going to start coming through spots like this. You know, wherever that oil's migrating, it's going to come out, which is fine. It's just oil. It's not going to hurt anything. You just wipe it off. Okay? Simple as that. Now, if you're real anal, which I get like sometimes, and you have your wear marks, which to me I call that character. They make a product called Aluma Black. You can put it on there and just let it sit for a minute, and the oxygen does its thing, and it pretty much turns black again. So, but that's it.